up in the air for a number of years because of his involvement with TNA Wrestling and other wrestling promotions and things he had committed to outside of professional wrestling, but he finally came back not just as a Hall of Fame inductee, but the Raw general manager, something he had never had before done with his character in WWE after previously having been the SmackDown general manager a number of years ago in the early thousands. He had the honor of being Raw general manager, then he competed, Hall of Famer along with that. I think it's great how he also had the chance to wrestle against the new talent, the initial wrestlers like Sheamus and Cesaro, and work with the likes of Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, someone he hadn't worked with for a number of years, someone who actually defeated for the first time of Samoa Joe's TNA run when Samoa Joe seemingly was unstoppable in TNA Wrestling. Remember back to when Kurt Angle was the guy who ended his undefeated streak in TNA Wrestling, something we would never thought we would see happen. But we did. Kurt Angle getting the chance to wrestle against the new talent, the initial wrestlers, really added fuel to the fire of Kurt Angle's comeback. So I think it was great how it all happened the way it did for Kurt Angle, and I hope that 2018 is just as promising of a year for Kurt Angle as what we saw in 2017, probably a match between Triple H and Kurt Angle. I know that's been discussed a lot by wrestling websites, and I think that it would be great if we saw that at WrestleMania, because it's been a number of years since Kurt Angle's competed at a WrestleMania, since at least 2005, 2006, WrestleMania 21 or 22 was the last time we saw Kurt Angle compete in a WWE ring. We never saw it after. I think actually WrestleMania 22 was the last time we saw Kurt Angle compete in a WWE ring at a WrestleMania, and I think that WrestleMania 34 would be a very appropriate venue for Kurt Angle to return at, because we're going back to New Orleans where the Undertaker streak ended. Daniel Bryan started the Yes Movement, and it was in full force that night, so I think it would be very appropriate if Kurt Angle joined the likes of Sting and many others, Goldberg, who came back, had that one final match, put that stamp of finality on their career. And I don't think, like I said, we haven't seen the last of The Undertaker, or I think I can get away with saying the same thing about Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle obviously has to push Jason Jordan, his gimmick son. Obviously it's not his biological son, but he has to push Jason Jordan in a more promising direction than what he's heading now. I'm not really approving of this storyline. This is one of my low points of 2017. Unfortunately, I have to talk about some of these things. Jason Jordan being the biological son of Kurt Angle, who really buys into that? You're obviously a very oblivious wrestling fan if you believe that Jason Jordan, or you're buying into the fact that Jason Jordan is Kurt Angle's biological son, because he's not. This is just a gimmick, just an avenue for Jason Jordan's career to head down. They're obviously testing the waters of this one. He's not getting great responses, but he's like a Roman Reigns, in my opinion, someone who really worked his way from the ground up, and is going to have to work his way from the ground up. He's already had matches like against the likes of Roman Reigns himself and John Cena. We just saw him wrestle against Seth Rollins in a great match, so he's had the opportunity to wrestle against names like Seth Rollins, John Cena, and Roman Reigns. But I hope they kill that idea, and I hope they go the route of having someone like a Jason Jordan turn on Kurt Angle, because it would make the storyline a lot more interesting than what we have seen happen for him. And how about this reign of Brock Lesnar as the Universal Champion? About 9 months we're up to now that Brock Lesnar's been the Universal Champion, having defended the title against the likes of Samoa Joe's, Braun Strowman's, AJ Styles. He's had incredible pay-per-view matches, and he's had more pay-per-view matches as the Universal Champion, something that was really unexpected by wrestling fans than anybody thought that he would have. And I think that Brock Lesnar deserves a lot of respect for having as many matches as what he had in 2017 up to this point, because I don't think many people thought that Brock Lesnar would have competed up to as many times as what he has throughout 2017 against the likes of AJ Styles, Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe. A lot of people thought that Brock Lesnar was going to cough up that Universal title to Braun Strowman at the beginning of the summer, but it didn't happen because they believed that Paul Heyman was going to line himself with Braun Strowman. Looking at the Royal Rumble in 2018, we have a triple threat scenario. Brock Lesnar competing against Kane for the first time ever. Braun Strowman thrown into the mix, made a triple threat match by Kurt Angle. I think this is a great match, and this could be the point where we see Braun Strowman turn on Brock Lesnar and align himself with Paul Heyman as Paul Heyman's latest guy, as he likes to refer to his clients as, to set up for a storyline with Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman for WrestleMania, probably Kane thrown in there as well. I'm expecting what's going to happen here with Kane after they, put him over after having been gone from WWE for a significant amount of time, because a lot of people were wondering what the hell happened to Kane, what became of him after putting over Kane. I think we're going to see happen to Kane what happened to him a number of years ago, about 5 years ago. They brought him in, had him feud with John Cena, Randy Orton, then he became a watered-down wrestler that was used basically as an extra to put over other wrestlers. And then we're going to focus more on Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. We're going to have to if Paul Heyman is going to line himself with Braun Strowman. And if it's going to happen in 2018, it has to happen at the Royal Rumble because it makes perfect sense. If Brock Lesnar is going to lose the services of Paul Heyman, he's going to have to lose the services of Paul Heyman to someone like a Braun Strowman or even a Kane if they go that route with it. I can't see them going that route with it, but it is possible. Anything can happen in WWE, as we've heard said many times over the years. If it's going to happen, it's going to have to happen by the Royal Rumble. And who I think is going to win the Royal Rumble this year, it's really hard to say at this point in time. Last year we had an incredible Royal Rumble match. This year is looking to be just as incredible of a Royal Rumble match as what we saw last year. The 2017 Royal Rumble was a huge Royal Rumble for many wrestlers making their mark in WWE, and I think this year it's going to be just as big of a Royal Rumble. Not only do we have a man's Royal Rumble match this year, but we also have a women's Royal Rumble match, and that's going to be happening for the first time ever. The women really have come into their own in WWE, and you can't go reviewing 2017, a year like 2017 being so unprecedented, without talking about the women's division. Stephanie has really endorsed the women's division, calling it the women's revolution. It really has gone above and beyond the expectations of a women's division. I mean, years ago you would never think of seeing a Hell in a Cell match between women like Charlotte and Sasha Banks, or a Money in the Bank ladder match with Carmella being put over in this match. We would never have seen women competing in the Middle East like Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss recently did, with Alexa retaining the Women's Championship. We are going to be seeing more innovative things happening for the women. I hope they keep this trend of having Royal Rumble matches, Money in the Bank ladder matches throughout 2018. The question is, when will Carmella cash in that briefcase? She can do it at WrestleMania. She could probably even do it at the Royal Rumble. It's either going to happen at the Royal Rumble in 2018 or WrestleMania 34. That would make perfect sense with how she calls herself being flawless and absolutely fabulous. I would love to see something done with Carmella and other women who deserve pushes in WWE. We have seen so many promising pushes in the past, and we have yet to see more, and we're going to be seeing those in 2018. Really looking forward to seeing something done there. I'm also really looking forward to seeing something done with Absolution and the Riot Squad. Really big fan of the Riot Squad and Absolution, more so the Riot Squad than Absolution. The Riot Squad, to me, really put me in mind of Suicide Squad characters, with Liv Morgan portraying the Harley Quinn of the group. I'm not really sure what name I can put on people like Sarah Logan or Ruby Riott at this point, but definitely Liv Morgan really fits the character of a Harley Quinn. So I'm really a big fan of the Riot Squad and hoping that promising things will happen for them more so than Absolution. Not to say that I'm not proud of Paige coming back after seeing a lot of absence from her and involvement with WWE and involvement with the company, but I'm really proud of both factions, what they're doing for the women's divisions, and really adding unpredictability to the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, which we'll be seeing on January 28th. I'm hoping that in 2018 we see a lot of pushes of the likes of Finn Balor. I'm really in doubt of Finn Balor at this point in time. I have a lot of doubt of, a lot of that has to do with uncertainty about Finn Balor's character. I mean, Finn Balor was someone who they could have really put over as the Universal Champion in 2017. They didn't do it. Finn Balor coming back the night after WrestleMania, I think it was last year, or this year rather, he came back the night after WrestleMania teaming with Seth Rollins, and you would have thought then they would have put the Universal title on him. They teased it time and time again. Nothing was ever done with Finn Balor after his return, after injury. But it seems like that's the trend WWE go with. After injury, you have to really work your way up from the ground up again, and that's really unfair for someone like Finn Balor, considering how he was never beaten for the Universal Championship, like Seth Rollins was never beaten for the WWE Championship back when Seth Rollins was being put over. But nothing was really ever done with Seth Rollins or Finn Balor. Obviously, what's high on a lot of minds of wrestling fans is the reunion of the Shield, what they're going to be doing with the Shield. They really haven't had that much competition since the return. The reunion saw them take on about 4 or 5 individuals, like Braun Strowman, The Miz, The Burr. It was a big return for the Shield, but nothing really has been done with the Shield since. The only thing that's happened is Roman Reigns being the Intercontinental Champion, really proud. Reigns really picking up off his victory of The Undertaker. He needed a lot of momentum, and he got it by winning things like the Intercontinental Championship for the first time in his career, becoming a Grand Slam winner, joining the likes of Shawn Michaels. That club is an elite club, ladies and gentlemen, and to say you're a part of that club really goes without saying, how much you put behind your character in WWE, how much effort you put behind yourself, how much of a push you're expecting to receive, and I'm hoping that all three members of the Shield see something promising happening in 2018. We have yet to see Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins regain the tag team titles from a team like the Bar, but I think that this year has been really unprecedented for people like 2018 seems to be looking very unprecedented for people like Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler even as the United States Champion. What happened with him laying down the title on SmackDown Live there last Tuesday? Is he retiring? Is this it for Dolph Ziggler? I don't think it is. I just think it's the beginning of a new storyline for him. But people like Finn Balor, Bobby Roode, they're always in the conversation. They will never be out of it because 2018 is a big year for WWE. It's looking like it's going to be a big year, and there's no reason why you can't push superstars who have been in line for pushes for a very long time. And 2017, without a doubt, was the year of Alexa Bliss. Without a doubt, she was my favorite woman of the Women's Revolution for all the matches she had with likes of Charlotte just recently at Survivor Series, Sasha Banks, where she just recently won her most recent Raw Women's Championship, a total of 4 women's titles for her, and I think that's definitely something unprecedented that will never happen again. So 2017, I think I can get away with calling it the year of Alexa Bliss. 2017 was a very promising year. We had so many unforgettable moments, so many unforgettable highlights. Jinder Mahal, the WWE champion, was not a really big fan of that, more so a fan of AJ Styles being the champion, more so than having to put up with Jinder Mahal as the champion for 6 months. I'd rather Brock Lesnar any day over Jinder Mahal, but I guess that has a lot to do with pushing new talent into wrestlers as the man or the men of WWE, and Jinder Mahal obviously was their go-to guy when looking for a guy to put the poster of SmackDown Live on, the responsibility of being champion. Obviously he cracked under pressure, but he did a good job up until the point that he lost the title against AJ Styles in the United Kingdom. Obviously one of the matches of the year. Again, like I said, 2017's Slammy Award show, one of the most biggest shows of the year. Really looking forward to that. It's going to be filled with a lot of uncertainty and unpredictability because you don't know what's going to happen usually every year at these Slammy Award shows. It will happen around the end of 2017, and it's something that we all as wrestling fans have to pay great attention to. So I guess that has to, a lot to do with the commitment, the dedication, and it will come down. We will see it at the forefront for the 2017 Slammy Award Show. And of course, the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw happening on January 22nd. Really excited. I can't tell you, after having watched so many episodes of Monday Night Raw, at least over 1,000 of them, of the plus 1,000 that we have seen, and I can't tell you how excited I am about the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw again happening on January 22nd. That's all what we're going to be